Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builders Supply. This video is to bring you a closer look at the CRL 0P30LHA is what this is. This is a offset pivot. It is their 30 type in a left-hand aluminum finish. And the 30 type stands for Arcadia, Arch Aluminum, Tubulite, and Vista Wall. So if you're looking for a pivot by for one of those manufacturers' doors, this could be it. This could be it is going to be determined on our visual and dimensional review that we do right now. So it's a left hand. It's LH. It's left hand. That means, you know, what many people in commercial doors would call a right hand reverse. The pivot industry calls those lefts and rights. There you go. Because they're really only concerned, I think, with the definition of the pivot itself. So calling this a left hand is one thing. Knowing that the door is a right hand reverse is more valuable. And not to get into a critique of why they would only call these lefts and rights. If this door does swing out, exterior door that swings out, maybe with an exit device, it's wholly incorrect to call it left hand. It's also helpful to know that it's a right hand reverse, because if you're the installer and it's an outside door, or you are the specifier and you know that it's a left hand, the way that you configure your other hardware may change. In particular, the door closer. You might be thinking a regular arm mount on a left-hand door, which would be common, but a right-hand reverse would be clearly top jam or parallel arm mount. So it's a left hand. It's very likely a right-hand reverse. You know, doors, aluminum storefront doors in commercial spaces, those are going to swing out. Now, visual review, we're going to start at the bottom and just simply work our way up to the top. This is the floor portion. This is going to have, of course, the bottom pivot sitting on the floor. There will be this portion that will be underneath and on the inside wall of the aluminum frame. Let's take some basic dimensional properties. I'm going to hold it sideways from the top of the bracket to the center of each hole. You can see you're about 7/16 and then about 1 1/16. That's handy to have. From the back side to the center of each hole, it's about 5/16 over to 1 1/16. Overall of the pivot is about 2 15/16. Overall depth, overall width, about 2 inch. This has a stud down here which can be adjusted via this set screw, and then you can rotate that to give yourself a small amount of adjustment. And regarding that bottom pivot, when you loosen that set screw, which it's loose now, you can unthread that spindle. Let's just take a measurement and see what kind of adjustment we can get to. So right now we're just shy on 1/2 inch. Thread that out. Well, you're going to get quite some adjustment here, there's no doubt. I would have expected it to be in the 1/4 inch range. I thread that in a couple of times. Yeah, 3/16 for sure, I would say. You're just shy on 11/16. Okay. I believe that Allen for the set screw is 3/16. Let's take a look. Yeah, 3/16. Is that right? No, it's not right. Not correct at all. 3/32. Forgive me, 3/32. All right, so now as we move up further in the door, the next thing, of course, we have is the door portion that's going to sit on top of the pivot, like so. Okay. Couple of holes there that are tapped for bolts that are included, and by the way, fasteners are included. Hex cap bolts for holding the hardware to the inner hollow tube of the door. Bolts for holding this to the jamb. The top portion to the header you'll have bolts for. Moving on with our view from bottom to top. From the top of that pivot, well, let's go from the bottom of that pivot to the first hole, 5/8, down to about 1 3/8. Okay, width of this unit, about 1 3/8. projection, about 1.25 inches, width, about 7/8. And again, providing this information because you might say, I have no idea who my door manufacturer is. There's no name on it anywhere. Well, these dimensions will help us. Now, moving up even further, we're going to have the top door portion with the spring-loaded pin. And when you get that door installed, all the hardware attached, you'll rest the door down on the bottom pivot, then tip it in, and you're going to obviously be able to have that door open to the point where you can hit that little lever that's there. Well, you'd probably just do it this way, but pulling it out... Forgive me, this model does not feature that. That does not retract that pin. Okay. That's very strange. I am... not expecting that. That pin is just fixed inside of there. There ought to be a way to retract that pin. Pulling that out is going to be quite a challenge. You're going to need to be able to get that door open to 90 degree to be able to get your wrench down into the sidewall to be able to pull the door out. There's normally a pin on there that retracts that. Okay, that's why I was pulling on that. Anyway, moving forward, width of the top door portion, about 1 3/8. Projection, about 1 1/4. Length of the body, about 1 3/4. Projection of the pin, about 9/16. Now to the header portion. That's going to project off the face of the frame, off of the header. It's going to look just like that, basically. Okay. Now, measuring these holes from the end, you're about 3/16 over to about just shy, about 3/16, maybe to about 31/32. Then the top hole is about 9/16 measured from this end. Width of the top plate, the top pivot header portion, about 1 3/8. Projection, about 7/8. Pardon me. Height, projection, about 1 1/4 or so. And that concludes everything about this. So there are lots of different manufacturers of aluminum storefront in the world. Some of them available, some of them not. It's very common to need to purchase pivots like this because, it's very, very strange the way that hardware like this is installed, in my opinion, because commercial exterior, that door is hit every time. It's the most active door in the entire business. But the caliber and the duty rating of the hardware on these doors can't be any less expensive. Hardware on the inside of a commercial space in terms of the hanging hardware are far more robust than these pivots. And the only thing these really have going for them is the fact that it's a pivot, meaning the weight of the door is borne on the earth. The point I'm trying to make is these are very, very standard caliber pivots. The entry model, the least expensive thing that can be done. So expect with enough use that it would not be uncommon to have to replace them. So that's where the dimensional properties come into play. Other options when it comes to aluminum storefront doors would be to use more robust pivots, would be to use, full mortise commercial grade hinges may be superior if you engineered or designed those specified those correctly. More robust pivots or a continuous geared aluminum hinge may be a better option. But these pivots are thoroughly ubiquitous. There is, below this video, an extended description that gives you all of the dimensional properties that we've gone over. So I won't switch to the screen view to take a look at that, but that's all there. There is a link below this video to the manufacturer's page where you can pull up not only all of the C.R. Lawrence products that we sell, but also a link to the manufacturer's website, as well as a link to the full product catalog. If you have any questions on the C.R. Lawrence OP, I think that character is a 0P, but it's offset pivot, they're 30 configuration, left hand and aluminum, and obviously right hand, obviously dark bronze as well. Any questions on this or any other C.R. Lawrence product, please feel free to reach out to us. And thank you.